On today's video, we're going to go through every single Marvel Legend released in 2025. Hello, this is Soundout here, and welcome back to the Marvel Legends Rundown. I've been doing this series since 2017, and we're at 2025. That means in 2 years, we're going to be doing the 10th anniversary of the Rundown. But if you want to make sure it gets there, be sure to hit the like button, subscribe, and the notification bell, and share it around with friends. Last year's Rundown underperformed significantly, and so because of that, kind of makes it hard to do giant videos when they don't perform super well. So if you want somebody that likes this type of video, please share it around. We're going to be doing a complete recap of all the Marvel Legends released in 2025, if they released on 3 online retailers, if they were released at their specific exclusive store, or if they were found at US retail before December 31st, 2025. That's the marker I use year by year, and that's the marker I used this year. And as always, we are going over everything in wave order, like whatever order the waves released in, and then we'll do the exclusives alphabetically by what they were exclusive to after that. So that's the general format, and that's how we're going to proceed. So let's talk about the year in review. Just kind of a quick summary. We had 138 releases in 2025. That's 138 figures released. It would have been the same as last year. 2024 was 132, but the most recent Spider-Man wave came out right before the end of the year, so it ended up going a little bit further. But I kind of like that we're sort of stabilizing around 130 releases. Unfortunately, unlike pretty much like all the Hasbro lines, there was just like chunks where there was like nothing, and then we'd get like 4 waves at once. There was a week where it was just like constantly getting hit with the bank account of like, here's this thing, and then they're out and they're out and out, and everything was like super early. Nothing was on time like all year, which is a big bummer because it's hard to plan the overall schedule. And that's an issue that's come up with like most of the Hasbro lines. Same thing also the issue of prices. The standard US retail price for Marvel Legends jumped from $24.99 to $27.99 this year, which made some of these figures not so worth it when they got their new price points. And then other things jumped up as well. And there was also some limited edition collab figures like the Magic the Gathering figures, which were already kind of insanely priced at $39.99, but they jumped to $47.99 with the price increases. And there are global trade factors involved with some of these prices, but also some of these prices jumped at such high percentage on both Marvel Legends and Transformers, as well as Star Wars Black Series, that you start to wonder, why is Hasbro's percentages jumping higher than every other company's? But that's a discussion ultimately for another day. Another discussion, which we already had, which was, is there too many X-Men in Marvel Legends in 2025? Went into a deep dive of that, of how many figures are X-Men and how many figures are not X-Men and all that. We already did that topic, so you can go check that out if you're interested. Also, I wanted to kind of say that one of the issues I find with the Marvel Legends line as a whole is where you don't have like a basic Peter Parker Spider-Man. Every Peter Parker Spider-Man for the last several years is an exclusive. It's in a 2-pack. It's the Maximum series we got this year, which was great, but like $50. There's always like, it seems like there is some kind of weird Spider-Man tax. You can't just get like a standard Peter Parker Spider-Man at retail at any point in time, which then led me to kind of question, you know, we have evergreen, A-level Marvel Studios figures that are just kind of like, you know, here's your standard Cap, here's your standard Spider-Man for the movies, but we don't have any like evergreen comic figures, and that's something I wonder if the Marvel Legends team and department would kind of think about doing, because I think it would be kind of beneficial that, like, yeah, you have something high-end for like the collectors, like the hardcore collectors, like the Maximum series, where it's like, here's the main character with all their accessories. But what about something that's like more affordable for people to get into the line, where they can just pick up like Spider-Man, Iron Man, Wolverine, and just kind of a standard way, like their most classic looks, their most iconic looks, and they're just kind of always available. I think that'd be super beneficial for more people getting into the line, personally. Also, 2 other things which are quality control related. The first one is kind of the overall issue with Hasbro's current marketing strategy, which is stuff slips through the cracks because Hasbro did a ton of layoffs in the last couple years that has, I think, resulted in a pipeline of information that's not super clean. For example, the Rachel Summers Phoenix figure was advertised with 4 extra alternate hands in the packaging, but the actual final figure only has 2. So that's misleading. That's misleading marketing. You know, it's covered legally under the, you know, final product may vary from images, but I think that's something that needs to be addressed so that way it doesn't happen again, because that is very frustrating as a collector. And you're like, oh, she comes with 4 extra hands and the wings and the extra head in the comic. That's great. But now she's $28 and she only has 2 extra hands. Kind of a problem. Another issue which has been going around is the quality control. I think overall quality control has been pretty good. Joint looseness hasn't been too much of a problem. But what has been a consistent issue, kind of inconsistently, is joints not holding together. So for example, the arms on my Yelena Belova, if I try to turn them, they just pop right off on both of them. This one holds a little bit better, but you can start to see it just kind of twists off. Like there's something up with the plastic. It used to kind of mesh better, or it should mesh better. The other one was my Phantom Rider, where one of his hips, if I can remember which one of his hips just works itself off as you move it. These are the only 2 issues I had with this, but there has been a lot of issues across the board with different figures. Some people, there was a bunch of Astonishing Beasts that had this issue, and mine was totally fine. Just something I think that, if Hasbro, if you're watching, please address this, because it's not great when you open a figure, pull it out of the box, and the leg stays behind. They can totally be fixed. Like, they just go back on quite easily, but they're not Build-A-Figures, so they shouldn't feel as such. And also, I will say, in terms of Build-A-Figures, with the price that the figures are now at $28, Build-A-Figures need to go. It's time. We only had 2 this past year, but the first one was like, okay, well, everyone's packed out with a ton of accessories. All right, this is expensive at $25 a figure times 6 or times 7 if you get the extra figure. That's a lot of money, but, okay, fine. It's, there's only a couple of these a year. But when the Executioner wave came up and it was $28 a figure, and some of the figures don't even have accessories in addition to their Build-A-Figure parts, and you go and you look at that final bill and you get charged nearly $300, that's US. I know it's worse in other regions. Nearly $300 for a Build-A-Figure just isn't worth it. We have Deluxe figures. There's so many Deluxe figures now. There's no reason to do Build-A-Figures anymore, and I'm ready for them to go. Either the prices need to come down or the Build-A-Figures need to go. We can't keep doing $28 figures times 6 or 7 to build a Build-A-Figure. It no longer feels like a free bonus. It kind of feels like you're spending an insane amount of money for one character. And if you don't want all the figures in a wave, it's a massive issue, because now any figure you don't want is going to cost you like $28 just to get a part. And that takes all the fun out of it, and they're not enjoyable anymore. So I'm all in camp of get rid of the Build-A-Figures. Anything that you want as a Build-A-Figure, just release it as a Deluxe figure or a 2-pack. That's the solution. On that note, let's recap everything from Marvel Legends in 2025, starting with the first wave released, going all the way through all the exclusives. Let's start with the Captain America Brave New World wave, which was all Deluxe figures. Naturally, we start off with Captain America. He's pretty well decked out, a lot of accessories, cool shield. But most importantly, he does have his wings, which are vastly improved from the last time they did the character, because it's got a lot more articulation range than before. We also have Falcon, who is a pretty nice new mold. It's actually a really cool design, and I've come to really like it. He also has a good set of wings, though they're not as articulated as Cap's. They are definitely still fun and posable. And then rounding out the wave is Red Hulk, who I ultimately just didn't pick up. I really liked Cap and Falcon, but I didn't really feel like I needed this one. Next up, Spider-Man Retro Wave 5. First off, we have Agent Venom, who's in his earlier design where he was a little bit slimmer, a little bit leaner, and a brand new mold that I think looks really nice. In addition to a couple weapons, he comes with an unmasked Flash Thompson head that I think matches the artwork perfectly. It's a really good pairing. Then we have Spider-Man Unlimited from the cartoon series, and I do think he looks really nice, though I wish he had the shading, especially on the face. Overall, he poses pretty good, and it's nice to have a figure of a character from a lesser-known TV show. So we've also included a 90s Chameleon, which comes with cool face mask parts. There also was a new Electro who has some really cool giant electricity effects. The 90s version of Kane finally makes his Marvel Legends debut, and relatively new character Spider-Boy got his first Marvel Legends in this wave as well. For our A-level reissues based on Marvel Studios films, we have Captain America from Avengers Endgame, looking pretty nice. It's a good reissue of a good mold. And we have the upgraded suit for Spider-Man from Far From Home. I've always liked this costume for Peter in the MCU. Next up, the X-Men themed Nemesis Build-A-Figure wave. First up, we have Wolverine in his black costume that was all over the place in the 2000s, and it looks pretty good as a figure. It's a pretty decent accessory loadout, especially with the hand options. We have Uncanny X-Force Nightcrawler looking really spiffy. That X-Men 97 mold is getting a lot of use. Naturally, it does come with a sword, and I still hope one of these will come with a left-hand sword-holding hand. Next, we have X-Factor Cyclops in the blue and yellow, looking really nice. And including the best Cyclops effect to date, where it actually has a clashing at the end of it. We have Age of Apocalypse Gambit helping to fill that collection out. And as a mostly new mold, he's actually pretty solid, though the design is just very strange. Marvel vs. Capcom fans rejoiced when Marrow was added to the line in this wave. She could have used a little bit more torso articulation, but otherwise she's a solid representation of the character. Continuing the Generation X lineup, we have Husk, who is using the Monet body but has a lot of new parts. Particularly an alternate head and a piece of skin to show her awesome superpower of ripping her skin off. Next we have Fabian Cortez, a great Trivia Night answer, who comes with a pair of Fire Fist effect parts. The Build-A-Figure of the wave is Nemesis, who looks very large and impressive. Plus I think his flaming skull is really cool. This is an overall kind of strange wave with a lot of obscure stuff, but at least it's all X-Men themed, so it's staying on brand. This year had Deluxe figures released at general retail every quarter. And first up was Electro from No Way Home. He's on a brand new body mold, and they worked with the design they had. His giant electricity effects are cool, but he's overall kind of an underwhelming figure just because of the design they're using. We have our first wave of figures that come with mini comic books. Starting off, we have Adam Warlock in a more classic design and definitely welcome. Plus, he comes with the iconic Infinity Gauntlet, which he did wield in the comics. Next up, we finally have Banshee in the classic green to help that giant size lineup. He does reuse the heads and molds from the previous Banshee, but he does come with a cool comic. Next up, we have Dark Wolverine, who's on a brand new body mold and looking a lot better than the older one. We have a nice unmasked head for Akihiro, and it's a really good look for him, even though we could get other versions of the character later. Finally, joining Marvel Legends is Rom Space Knight, hot on the heels of his comics being reprinted. This figure is absolutely excellent, coming with his scanner and his neutralizer with an effect part. Absolutely adore this one. Next up, we have Spider-Man, which is a nice new upgraded version of Miles with better articulation range. Like, this is the first one of him that can actually really crouch properly, and it's very close to being an excellent figure, just needs a little bit more range. And rounding out this wave is Ultimate Iron Man, looking like a nice, savvy upgrade to the previous version. Next up, let's take a look at all the figures released for the Spider-Man 2 video game this year. In the main wave, we have Black Cat, a brand new figure and probably my favorite version of the character to date for articulation and posing. She really has a lot of range, and she comes with Doctor Strange's Wand of Watum, which she stole in the game, which is really nice. Next up, we have Miles' Boricua suit, which is a really nice look and a nice version of the character that represents his cultural history. There also was the Brooklyn 2099 suit for Miles, and this is a very nice look overall, though I do think it needed a little bit more paint. Then we have the alternate color for Miles' upgrade suit that makes him look more like Peter Parker Spider-Man, and I kind of hate it. For Peter, we have the iconic symbiote black suit with a lot of nice sculpting on it. And then weirdly, we get an alternate color of the Anti-Venom suit that doesn't look like the Anti-Venom suit because clearly they needed something to save the budget, and this is just a standard repaint of a base body. There was the massive Deluxe Venom figure, the second quarter Deluxe release, and he is pretty impressive. Amazon had an exclusive version of the Kingpin using the comic book mold and giving him a couple new heads, gives his black suit Kingpin. Personally, this is going to go straight into my comic book shelf in the Daredevil section, but this could work either for games or comics. There was Wal-Mart exclusive Spirit Spider suit for Peter Parker, which looks pretty neat, and a repaint of the Velocity suit from the first game, released in Spider-Man 2 packaging exclusively at Walmart. Let's get some more single figures that were at retail. Our Quarter 3 Deluxe figure was Archangel in his X-Force look, which has brand new wing design that I think looks really, really cool. In addition to extra heads and hands, he does come with an effect part for throwing the talons off the wings, though I have trouble posing it naturally. Also, the black costume from Spider-Man 3 was released as a $30 standalone figure back when figures were $25. Doesn't seem as crazy now, does it? Next, we have the wave for Fantastic Four First Steps. Starting off with Invisible Woman, this is a very nice version of Sue, and everything here is brand new molds, which I think is really cool. I also really like her effect part, including little blasts where it's being shot at. I think it's a neat little depth to detail. Next, of course, we have Mr. Fantastic looking pretty fantastic. A pair of stretchy arms that can bend and pose is always a good inclusion. Next up, we have Johnny Storm. No flames on this guy, but he's got a really nice likeness and an overall good look. Plus, he comes with a couple extra flame parts if you want him mid-transformation. Naturally, we also get a Human Torch figure, which is clad entirely in translucent plastic. Always a very nice look and always a neat effect to have. We do have a figure of The Thing, which isn't quite accurate to the movie, but they were clearly working off concept art. This is definitely a solid mold, and I can see a second version of this coming down the line. Rounding out the wave is the Silver Surfer, looking really awesome on her board and her effects stand. And that really is one of the coolest things. Silver Surfer figures coming with effects stands should always be a requirement. This year's anniversary line was the Gamerverse line that is totally Marvel vs. Capcom. First up, we have Wolverine in a complete Capcom Bengus art style, looking pretty stellar. He also has a couple cool, really giant slashing effect parts. He's paired in a 2-pack with Silver Samurai, which is a mild upgrade over the previous one. In addition to game-accurate details, he also has a couple effect parts for his moves in the game. This pack was interestingly a fan channel exclusive, and honestly is pretty solid. Next we have Captain America in a style that I really like. In addition to great articulation, he's got a really cool shield bash effect. We also get the cleanest Venom to date, and he's in that classic Capcom blue. Plus he poses really nice. They're really close to having the perfect Venom. Surprisingly, this 2-pack is the only one available at general retail at all retailers. Next up we have Thanos, who's a modified version of the Deluxe mold. Several new parts here, but not a full Infinity Gauntlet is a little sad. He's paired with Psylocke, who's a brand new figure head to toe, and I could see this mold getting a lot of use in the future. Not to mention the fact she comes with the effect parts you would expect, the Psychic Knife and the Butterfly effect, but also very large special effects based on the game. This 2-pack was exclusive to Target and was hard to get earlier in the year, but there was a lot of restocks later in the year, so hopefully it's a little bit easier to get. Next we have Omega Red, who actually has a lot more new parts than I thought he did. This is actually now my preferred Omega Red for the shelf. He's really stellar. And he's paired with War Machine, who's based on the actual character profile art, not the sprite art like we got before. And he comes with the iconic War Machine cannon with an effect part, which is awesome. This 2-pack was originally exclusive to Wal-Mart and is kind of a neat pairing. Our first Mega Deluxe for the line is Shuma Gorath, who is absolutely massive. Sorry, his legal name is Gargantos. Shuma's eyeball is also posable with the eyelids adjustable as well, in addition to the bendy tentacles. And he comes with his little spike ball form, which is a neat accessory. The other Mega Deluxe is Juggernaut, who is absolutely massive, but still very posable. And he comes with a giant punch effect, which I think is awesome. Flashing back to the first Capcom Marvel game with Punisher, we got a brand new Punisher. Classic blue, Angry Frank comes with a bunch of weapons. Can't do no wrong. He's of course paired with Nick Fury, his partner in the game, who is a very nice looking figure. He also comes with a bunch of accessories, and even has a mouth to put a custom cigar in if you want. These two are ready to take on the Kingpin's forces, and was a fan channel exclusive pack. Interestingly, Thunderbolts was relegated to just doing 2-packs. The first one starts with Yelena, the lead of the movie, and she is pretty great if your QC is good. But overall, sculpt and detail-wise, I think she's pretty stellar and the best version of the character to date. We have a massive upgrade on Red Guardian compared to his previous version, and a lot more accurate overall. The twin pistols, as well as the helmeted head, make a nice accessory loadout for these two. The next pack has an upgrade for US Agent that is sort of more accurate than before, but he's lacking like a usable pistol, which seems odd. We also get a completely brand new figure in the form of Sentry, which was actually the first time we ever saw this costume. Yeah, this was the whole reason the Sentry costume leaked, which is kind of funny, but a neat little tidbit. Now, unfortunately, there wasn't a third 2-pack with Bucky and Ghost, so the team is sitting here incomplete. And using the prior Bucky and Ghost isn't going to really cut it here. Next, we have our third wave of single-card X-Men 97 figures. First up, Cable in that classic 90s look, very chunky and very fun. He comes with weapons and effect parts, which is a great loadout. We have a brand new Emma Frost who looks really great, go into any display you want. Coming with an extra head that looks really sinister, and I like the look of her overall. This is the best Jubilee we've ever gotten. She's got full articulation range, but most importantly, she has the proper accessories, effect parts that actually look like fireworks, and character-specific things like her drink cup. Logan here could have really used new pants and shirt because the over-detailing doesn't match the cartoon look. That being said, the claws and cards are a nice inclusion. Getting a brand new mold on Morph is really appreciated and matches the art style quite well. Plus he comes with standard, human disguise, and Gyric heads. Sunspot here is on an X-Men training suit body that I think we're going to see a lot in the future. And naturally comes with a couple fire effects, so they're really hard to get to stay on his hands. This is a pretty solid lineup, and I'm a really big fan of the Emma, Cable, and Jubilee. Next up is the Spider-Man and Magic the Gathering collaboration. The only figure I picked up from this was Man-Wolf, because he's Man-Wolf, and I really wanted Man-Wolf. And luckily he lived up to the expectation. The figure is fantastic, and I really have no complaints. Except for the complaint that I had to pay $15 extra because he came with this trading card that I did not need and would have rather just paid for him as a normal figure. Also in this lineup was Agent Anti-Venom, which is just an Anti-Venom repaint with a couple old accessories thrown in. Battle Damage Spider-Man, who's surprisingly a lot more interesting than it seemed. And a Mary Jane Iron Spider that actually has a lot more new parts than you'd think. But were any of these worth the extra 15 bucks? I don't know. So Daredevil Born Again didn't really get a wave, it got 2 single figures. First up, Daredevil, complete upgrade over the one from basically 10 years ago, and is a very nice figure. He's close to being perfect, there's a couple things I would tweak for a future version, come on black suit, but he is pretty nice overall. We also got a new version of Punisher, which once again, very much a huge upgrade from the previous one. Though I am looking forward to seeing his brand new day version in a figure. Next up is our second mini comics wave. Astonishing X-Men Beast is getting us closer to completing the Astonishing team, and he's pretty nice overall. Good accessory loadout and good articulation, and that's really all you need from Beast. Feral is getting us really, really close to the original X-Force lineup being complete, if it's not complete already. It's nice to finally get this character in figure form. It's been a long wait for a lot of people. We have the Rachel Gray version of Phoenix completing the Excalibur team. And naturally she does come with her giant flame wings, though I did wish she came with a third head with her helmet on. Also in this wave was a Black Widow in the gray suit on the brand new body with more articulation, a Daredevil based on the Frank Miller Man Without Fear miniseries, and a Silver Surfer who's basically the last one released, but now he's pinless. Next we have the Executioner Build-A-Figure wave. First up we have World War II Logan, who looks fantastic. I don't know why they worked so hard on this, but he's amazing. Tons of accessories, great look, really fun figure. They did a great job with this one. Next up we have Iron Man in his most recent comic book armor, and it looks really good. I like this design a lot. Though the lack of articulation range is a big bummer, he can't pose as well as I hope he would. Next we have the second Spider-Man from Dark Avengers, this one being the crazy six-armed version. This is a fun figure and one of the better six-armed figures in Marvel Legends, which surprisingly we have quite a few of. From the world of the Crystal Warriors we have Warbow, who is very nice. He's a clever reuse of parts from Crystar, and I would like more of these guys, and also for their comic to get reprinted so I can read it. Werewolf by Night has been on a wish list of mine forever, and I'm pretty happy with it. I could have used some new sculpting instead of reusing parts from Puma, but otherwise I'm pretty happy with having this character finally. Enchantress is a very welcome upgrade with a lot of new sculpting on her. And I really like her effect part. It has a more chaotic feel than the previous magic effects. We have the Phantom Rider in his classic look, head to toe, with a pair of pistols, but no horse because he's just a standard figure. The Build-A-Figure is Executioner, who is very nice. Some slight limited articulation here and there, he serves his purpose. His axe in particular is quite impressive, and he makes for a good release. This wave seems like a weird hodgepodge, but I ultimately wanted every figure, so it worked out for me, but that's a lot of money to finish a Build-A-Figure. Sneaking in right before the end of the year, Spider-Man Retro Wave 6. My first pickup of this wave was Spider-Man 2099, who I think is much better. He actually has the proportions of Spider-Man 2099. Articulation range is great, and this is exactly what I'd see out of a Miguel O'Hara. Now, can you repaint it in black? We also have Uncanny Spider-Man from the time Nightcrawler became Spider-Man. This is great. I love this design, I love the teleporting effect, I love the sword inclusion. Also in this wave was Cardiac, a much requested villain. Hypno Hustler, not a requested villain, but hey, get him out there. The Owl, who's one of those good mobster guys with a weird gimmick. And Spider-Venom, the most recent time Peter Parker took that symbiote back. Let's get to our Amazon exclusives. We had an Iron Man 2-pack with a new version of Extremis Iron Man with a new unmasked head and extra articulation range. He's a great upgrade over the previous one, and I already had that one, but I was happy to get this one. Also, because he came in a 2-pack with Mandarin, we've not gotten a comic Mandarin this whole time. Sure, it's the more modern version, but I'll take that over the old stereotype. We also got the No Way Home version of Lizard, which is also a good upgrade to the Amazing Spider-Man version of Lizard. He's very nice overall and actually features a lot of new parts. He's not as much reuse as people claim. And this finally completes our villains from No Way Home, rounding out the almost Sinister Six. The next 2-pack starts with Crossbones, which surprisingly I never had one of this guy. He's a good villain to put into anything. I don't know why we don't use Crossbones more. But he's paired with Madame Mask, which was an upgrade I really wanted to get. And she comes with 2 different heads with 2 different mask designs, which I think is awesome. This is a fun 2-pack of 2 villains that always keep popping up and things causing trouble. We had one exclusive that toured around all the fall conventions, and that was Super Skrull, based on trading card art, and it's a nice version to get of the figure if you didn't have the previous one. I have the previous one, I'm pretty happy with it. Next up, fan channel exclusives are everything sold online and at specialty retail. First up, we have Dark Avengers Warbird, which has a head to double as a classic Miss Marvel, and this is a good lineup for our Dark Avengers, which are getting close to being complete. We have a version of the Spot from the end of Across the Spider-Verse where he's turned all black and absorbing everything. There's an X-Force 2-pack, which starts with the new X-23 with double-jointed elbows, pinless joints, and overall a really nice look. I really like this figure. We need more Lauras, but also we need more Lauras in other costumes. I feel like we get this one maybe a little too much. She's packed in with X-Force Warpath, who looks big, impressive, and awesome. It would be nice to see a new body that's large like this, and that way we could get more figures on it, but this is a pretty good figure. We also got a retro card She-Hulk in her Fantastic Four uniform. Finally, it's one I've wanted for a long time. And she comes with an alternate head that actually can pose better, plus some barbells. Speaking of barbells, there was also a Deluxe Strong Guy that's a nice upgrade to the previous Build-A-Figure. If you have the previous one and don't want the giant barbell effect, you're probably good, but this is a nice upgrade for Guido. There also was a cosmic-themed 2-pack of Star Fox and Champion of the Universe. I still don't know who Champion of the Universe is. The next 2-pack starts with Deathbird of the Shi'ar Empire, looking very nice. A lot of new sculpting here, and that crazy look on her face, that's perfect Deathbird. Plus she comes packaged with a very nice upgrade to Gladiator, one we really needed. And he has a really cool extra head, so when he's not stoic anymore and he gets angry. We had a Secret Wars toy line card back version of Iceman, who comes with the cool accessories from Ice Blast effects to a snowball to the lenticular shield. We finally got some new Inhumans figures with Black Bolt in a very nice design. And he has the wings and the posing ability to fly properly. Plus he can put his arms down in a natural way. We also have Triton for the first time, who looks very nice with a lot of new sculpting. And his alternate head with the mask is the coolest thing. In the next Inhumans 2-pack, we have Medusa, who really needed an upgrade, especially with that hair. And the hair's actually posable, so she can be posable and not just a static figure. And she's packaged in with Gorgon, who might be one of my favorite figures of the whole year. He's just so much fun. He's this giant figure with a lot of cool details and a really neat weapon. And with these packs, we've rounded out the Inhumans royal family. Now, give us a new Karnak and a Maximus and I'll be pretty happy. Let's talk about the new Maximum Series exclusive to fan channel retailers. The idea behind these is to take a classic version of a character, give them all the articulation you could ever want, and pack them with accessories. So Spider-Man is 90s styled and has so much extra range and movement, it's kind of insane. He's got multiple heads for different eye sizes. He has a spider sense effect, which I've never seen before. He also comes with an unmasked head and rolled up sleeve hands, so that way you can have the web shooters. Comes with a couple web lines, a web net with a stand, a web blast that goes on the same stand, the web shield, 2 web blasts off of his wrists, and that's a pretty awesome package. I found he was worth the money, mileage may vary. The next one was Hulk, who used a ton of stuff from previous figures and ultimately just didn't really live up to the Maximum name for most people. But then we bounced back with Deadpool, who got a completely brand new mold. Extra hands like crazy, pistols, big guns with effect parts, katanas, dynamite, lunch, and all the articulation to make that happen. But most importantly, the set comes with Dupe, who is one of the coolest characters ever. He's got a stand, he's got articulation, what more could you dupe for? Hasbro Pulse introduced a made-to-order program where pre-orders were open for a limited time and they'd make only as many got ordered. And the first of these was Dragon Man, ordered last year, shipped this year. He's pretty fantastic. He is massive, and it's definitely a figure that a lot of people wanted because they couldn't get the old one, but it's one I wanted because I love the character. He has these gigantic wings that really make him an impressive wingspan size. He's got fists, of course, for battling and articulation, all kinds of crazy. And he's got his Future Foundation look with the glasses and the book. The other one was a massive X-Men 97 Sentinel, which looks really great head to toe and is a really nice piece. And as you can see, he's quite large and demanding. Plus comes with a couple of blast effects, which are super cool, and they could also be swapped out for the tentacles if you have the HasLab. And he's got battle damage parts that are a nice, easy swap in. Hasbro Pulse had some exclusive X-Men 97 packs that immediately went to other retailers. The first one, we have Basketball Rogue, who's a pretty nice figure overall, and a very nice head sculpt. Like, this might be my favorite Rogue head sculpt of all time. Haven't decided yet, but it's pretty good. Gambit awkwardly uses a starting lineup NBA figure body, because I guess Hasbro wanted to reuse some tooling. It doesn't look quite right for Gambit. Proportions are weird. That being said, it's got a consistent theme to the 2-pack. It's the two of them playing basketball. The next 2-pack gives us a classic Storm from the end of Season 1 of X-Men 97. And while she reuses some parts in the previous figure, she does come with the new heads and this giant electricity effect. And because someone at Hasbro loves me, they packed it with Brown Suit Wolverine, and Brown Suit Wolverine is looking stellar. His unmasked head is great, but his masked head where he's actually screaming is excellent. I love this figure. This is my favorite 2-pack, like, ever. It's two of my favorite X-Men characters in 2 looks that I really love. And the last 2-pack starts with a classic Dave Cockrum-styled Cyclops, who comes with the new effect part from the X-Factor Cyclops, looking really cool. And I don't like Jean Grey's green dress costume, but this is the nicest figure of it. Never make it again. And I do like that she actually comes with effect parts for her powers. It's another 2-pack that makes total sense and is a nice pairing. If you thought Magic the Gathering was a weird collab, here is KITH, a clothing brand. Actually branded Marvel vs. Capcom with Captain America in its color 6, which is the green color. It was $45 and sold out in a minute. Same goes for Wolverine in the color 3 from the Capcom games. Both of these have KITH branded effect parts. This was weird. As always, Marvel Unlimited Annual Plus members got an exclusive figure. This time it was Night Spider. You're probably wondering, who the heck is Night Spider? It's a Spider-Man from a variant cover to a Moon Knight issue. Glad we figured that out. This year's San Diego Comic-Con exclusive was one of the most hotly demanded sets. First up, we have an upgraded Sauron that's using the new No Way Home Lizard body parts, as well as a ton of new pieces. Like his effect part, which is something I really think we needed before, and it really rounds out the version of the character. We have Rogue in her Savage Land look, which has got a lot of new parts to it, and overall looks pretty nice. It is nice that she comes with multiple weapon options. It's good to have. And then for me, the seller, which was Shauna the She-Devil, looking absolutely fantastic. I like that she comes with multiple weapons, though I'm not exactly sure why she comes with a hunting rifle. It is nice that we finally put together the Savage Land trio, but it sucks that Kazar was fan channel, Zabu was a Build-A-Figure, and then Shauna was a very limited Comic-Con exclusive. And I do mean very limited. This set was fantastic, but it sold out quick on Hasbro Pulse, and they never restocked it, unlike all the other San Diego Comic-Con exclusives. That was weird. This thing needs a second run. Let's talk about Target's more than quarterly X-Men retro card figures. First up, we have Professor X in his Savage Land jumpsuit, which is a nice reuse and honestly good version of the character. It's always funny when Professor X comes with a Cerebro. Those things aren't really wireless. We get X-Factor Jean Grey, who would be perfect except for the fact they didn't paint her yellow boots. I don't know why. That being said, 2 different heads for the 2 different mask styles and an effect part. Pretty nice. This upgrade to Weapon X I wasn't going to get originally, but he's actually really, really good. In particular, I like the open hands, and I like the overall extra detail. We finally got Outback Storm, and I will slide on the reused head. Because honestly, she just looks great, and it's a version of the character I was hoping we'd get. Then rounding out the year was a brand new Mystique, who is pretty nice. She's got guns like crazy, which is awesome, because that's Mystique, and she comes with a Black Queen Jean Grey head if you so wish. Walmart had more than quarterly figures of Spider-Man, 2 of which we already talked about. Surprisingly, the Nicholas Hammond version of Spider-Man from the 1977 TV series got a figure this year. Life is crazy sometimes. He's really nice, but I don't understand how he's supposed to hold his accessories. He only comes with open hands and fists. There's no grips. There's also Hellfire Gala Spider-Man, aka we figured out how to repaint a base body, and a retro card Mysterio that skews more animated and overall is pretty cool. Here's my top 10 favorites, excluding the made-to-orders, because they're just kind of in their own caliber. Number 10, X-Men 97 Cable. I just really like the way he turned out. Number 9, Outback Storm. Needed a Storm on the list, but couldn't put this one higher because she needs some more new parts. Number 8, MVC Psylocke. She's just fantastic. Number 7, Man-Wolf. Would be much higher if it wasn't for his price point. Number 6, Juggernaut. Literally no complaints with this one. Number 5, Daredevil Born Again. Really like this figure overall. Number 4, Brown Suit X-Men 97 Wolverine. What can I say? I love the brown suit. Number 3, Spider-Man 2099. If he was just black and red instead of blue and red, he'd be perfect. Number 2, Gorgon. My surprise favorite of the year. And number 1, ROM Space Knight. I literally have no complaints. So that does it for the 2025 Marvel Legends Rundown. Like I said, if you want to see this continue, hit the like button, hit subscribe, and the notification bell. Leave comments down below, tell me you enjoyed it. Share it with your friends, hit the hype button if it's available to you, all that good stuff. If you want to continue the conversation, you can join our Discord server in the link below. You can also join as a channel member and get perks like early access to videos and special shoutouts. Let's give our channel members special shoutouts. Special shout out to all of our channel members, including Captain Tier, Spinach54, Masterbed95, Forever1000, Super Shags Boom, Veloquence, Rogue Leader 2448, Mr. Smelly Potato, Alt Mode Archive, Fernando Pereira, Levante Jackson, Adrian Montanez, GoBro Fam, C. Hoffman, B-Tub, Killer Nuck Tokusatsu, Anameka de Tempo, Justin Giovanni, Sonic Doctor, Taran Tompas, Lupin the Third Fan Channel, Mr. Eververse 16, Ghostly, Parzival Joker, Liam Peterson, Ivan Link, Blonde Snake 88, Swine-Ass Temero, and Chris Ramsey. Thank you all for your support. If you still wish, I'm on social media on Blue Sky and Letterboxd at Soundout12. You can find my wonderful graphic designer on social media and Discord at DarkClaw643, and you can find Hero Club at HeroClub.com for entertainment, interviews, and more. And until next time, this is Soundout saying goodbye.